Oh, good evening out there. Well, the sun has slowly made its way down once again, and we can finally get comfortable and have a chat. My name is Eddie Booze, and this is Exit the Matrix. Throughout my life, I have traversed my share of rabbit holes, and like many of you out there, I have seen and experienced some things that I simply cannot explain. I invite you all to consider that this world may not be exactly what we've been told it is, and that maybe, just maybe, we haven't even scratched the surface of the absolute truths that lie before us. My guest today is Mr. Bobby C. How you doing, Mr. Bobby C?
How you doing, Eddie? Hey, thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, man, great to have you, brother. So Bobby hit me up. So Bobby's seen the show. When I very first started doing the show, when I very first started coming out with episodes, I sent the first few to Bobby right away. Bobby comes to my place and does. He's one of my Thursday night regs for poker. And he was like, he's always been talking to me about remote viewing, like since we've known each other, like that's been his thing. He's like, bro, let's do an episode about remote viewing. Do you know about remote viewing? And I'm like, yeah, bro, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm all into the conspiracy theories, so I'm like, I'm ready to go. So tell me So first of all, before we jump into what remote viewing is, before we talk about any of that, how did you find out about remote viewing? Because I know a lot of you out there already know what it is. How'd you find out about remote viewing?
Like when I was in 5th grade, there was a show called That's Incredible, and it had really crazy stuff on it. And one of the things they had on it was a lady who helped detectives find criminals by remote viewing. And I thought that was pretty cool, like that'd be cool. It was kind of, weird, but yeah, that far.
Interesting. So
a while ago.
So it wasn't one of the people that we've talked about before, like Ingo Swann or anything like that?
Ingo Swann was probably the next person. What happened
that you heard about
with his remote viewing and what they found and everything.
Okay, all right. So let's kind of like just take a little quick rewind, a backtrack here, and get into, and let me kind of give you guys kind of a background of what remote viewing is. Okay, so let's break it down. Remote viewing, or RV, is the idea that someone can see things at a distance using nothing but their mind. No cameras, no tech, just mental perception. Now, this isn't just some fringe belief either. This was an actual government-funded program. The CIA and the U.S. military spent millions researching it during the Cold War, mostly because they thought the Soviet Union was doing the same thing. Now, again, this always seems to be their excuse, you know what I'm saying? Like the CIA, like, well, Russia was doing it too, so we had to do the same, like, just like MK Ultra, they said, oh, well, Russia was doing these mind control experiments with LSD and all this shit, so they're like, we have to do it too, and that just seems like their kind of excuse, you know what I mean? But so back in the 70s, the CIA got really interested in the idea that the human mind might be able to perceive distant locations. They funded research at Stanford Research Institute, where two physicists, Russell Targ and Hal Puthoff began testing people who claim to have psychic abilities. And here's where it gets weird. They worked with a man named Ingo Swann. This is the guy that you and I have been kind of talking about. And this guy claimed he could see places he had never been to. And in one experiment, he was asked to view Jupiter before NASA's Pioneer 10 spacecraft got there. And he described things like rings around the planet, which were later confirmed by NASA. So, and then okay, so let's pause here. Like you told me some things about Ingo Swann he saw some other things about other planetary features. Yeah.
So that's how I found out about the GPS and looking at coordinates is through the story I seen of Ingo Swann, of when they asked him to do that. And then I seen other things of it too, where they bring him and they ask him to ask what's in the coordinates, and he told them. He's seen like a big pyramid, bigger than our pyramids, and he's seen tall people that were dying, and he's seen
where, on Mars?
Yes, on Mars.
No, wait, like like in the
But he didn't know
distant past,
he didn't know he was remote viewing Mars. He
didn't realize what he was actually going
he just
through.
said, this is weird because this is like these people are really tall, and then he's like, oh no, they see me, and then so I was like, bring him back, you know. So he came back to his body, out of body experience kind of thing, time travel through, you know, however that works when you do remote viewing. But yeah, that's what he saw, and it was like a million years in the past.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So, like the theory that like Mars did have some sort of humanoid life on it is,
and then like a nuclear war, because they said that, you know, it has signs of after nuclear.
So like they say that like, yeah, I've seen that they found like glass in the sand or something like that over there, or something along those lines that said that's like yeah, that's indicative that there was some sort of like nuclear blast in the past or something along those lines. I think I've seen
a certain
something. I think, and I mean, I may be way off base here, but if I remember correctly, that's what
or something.
I don't know. Okay, so all right. So let's talk about how remote viewing is actually done. Okay, the way these experiments work was simple. A person called a remote viewer was given a set of random coordinates or a target, and they wouldn't be told anything else. So they'd give me like a coordinates. You know what I mean? Like in the world somewhere, or a target number, or something like that. And then they'd sit in a quiet room. They'd describe what they saw in their mind's eye. Sometimes they'd sketch it out, and some of these sketches they actually matched real places, like spot on. Okay, now one of the most famous cases was a man named Pat Price. He was given a set of random coordinates, and he described a Soviet military base in crazy detail, down to the types of cranes and buildings inside it. Later, satellite images showed that what he described was actually real.
Yeah.
Dude, and
didn't he describe like a huge submarine?
Okay, so yeah, so he found he found the submarine based on the coordinates they gave him. Okay, right. So what he did was he described that it was a submarine based on the coordinates that they gave him. Okay, but yes, we're gonna go into a case down here where there's two, not one, but two separate instances where remote viewers picked up Soviet subs. Okay, and we'll go into that in a little bit here. So if it's true that Pat was able to see the inside of a Soviet military base in detail,
I believe it.
Let me ask you this: consciously, how do you think your mind would handle that if somebody were to sit you down and go, "I want you to describe this far away we're going to give you some coordinates, explain exactly what they want from you, and do it." How do you think your conscious mind would process that?
Like a movie.
Like a movie?
Like a movie.
Explain that to me. That's
how you watch a movie or a dream. You're not feeling it. You're just watching it. So that's kind of, I would think that's how it would be. Like you just kind of like, you kind of see it. Because like when you remote view, like you say, get the coordinates and try to think what you're gonna think or draw or whatever. You have to you don't think of anything. You just look at it and you let your mind go blank until something pops in your head, and then you write it down, or whether it be a number or a color or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. So, all right. So essentially, like you would experience it like a movie, like you were watching it, or. All right, I'm kind of seeing this. I
like
get
VR
it.
movie.
Okay, all right. So that's exactly why people debate this. Some people actually believe it's real. Some people believe
it's like an out of body experience. They see their body.
Right, exactly. And some people do feel like there is an element, obviously, of luck to this, and then their brains are just filling in the gaps in between the holes. It's right in your chair. It's right next to you.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Oh, you're good. That's what I was looking at on the camera. I was like, what the hell is that? But no. So here's the thing. So if remote viewing was so successful, you'd think that it's still being widely used today, right?
It is.
You'd think so, right? Well, the government claims that they shut it down in 95.
Oh.
The government claims they totally shut it down in 95, saying that while there were some interesting results, it wasn't reliable enough for intelligence work. Yeah, we totally believe you. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that they're just going to stop doing that type of thing, you know? The government is always going to be doing more and more of the asinine, not less and less of the asinine. Now, I don't know, with everything we've been seeing with Doge lately, like, you know, a lot of the asinine shit we've been seeing has been being cut. So we'll see.
Our government went to Africa to study witch doctors. That's how much they want to know about brainwashing and you know, mind control.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to do less of that. They're going to do more of that shit, you know?
Of course they would.
Okay, so even though they shut it down, some of the people involved, like Joe McMoneagle, one of the top remote viewers, insist that the program actually worked. He claims he helped find hostages, described classified locations, and even viewed things that weren't on Earth.
Yep.
So, okay, was the government trying to... Do you think that they're just trying to cover up that they shut it down, or do you think that they actually shut it down?
Because...
No, I'm asking you, do you think that they actually shut it down, or do you think that they're just trying to cover it up by saying they did?
Well, yeah, they're gonna probably cover it up because they're probably like in, you know, a race with, you know, other countries to have, because...
I mean, I don't know. It's... I mean, I guess. Well, here's the thing.
The same programs.
Here's the thing, but you don't often get the United States government and the CIA admitting to much of anything, let alone anything that's, you know, that's supernatural or,
look up Russia and see if they have that same program going on to this day.
That's actually a really good. That's actually a really good question. Actually, does Russia actually have remote viewing going on right now?
I bet you they do.
I would. You know what? That's a good question, dude.
Now ask yourself, if they have it going on, would America not?
Let me ask. Right. Exactly. Right. Of course. Especially when everything they do is Russia, Russia, Russia. You know what I mean?
I think Russia's our ally. You know.
Of course. And now let me ask you. Okay. So
I like Putin.
What percent? So what percent of success do you think that the program would have to have for the United States government to like keep funding it, for it to be in constant use like we're talking about here? Like, do you think it would have to be like 10% success, 80% success, 50? Like, where do we like, where do you think that the government, like, where that threshold is that they're like, you know what, this just doesn't work? I would say like
80%. If you can get, you know, one or two big,
that's a lot.
Big saves.
Like, dude, so if
you get one or two big saves, that's big, you know.
So that's like I would say that's so. But yeah, but out of how many? Like 10?
How many do you think you could get if you try to guess, you know, something like that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the percentage of success that remote viewing would have to hold for the United States government to go, we're going to keep doing this, whether it's secretive or not? Like, secretive, not secretive, like
50%.
I think 50 is a good number.
50%. If you can get 50% of the time, it's either
that's crazy, right?
Right or wrong. If you can get right 25% of the time,
I would think even maybe 10 to 15.
I mean, those are big rights, dude. Like, you gave coordinates.
If you can see when you said one or two, if you say that out of 10, like 10 to 20% of the time, if you can get. But here's the thing: you don't know how reliable that's going to be. But when it comes to finding a person or, you know what I mean, something like that. Exactly. Now, I mean, to base any kind of wartime decisions on remote viewing without confirmation.
They found that submarine.
Okay, now I'm saying without confirmation. Like, if you find the sub, you know what I'm saying? But if a remote viewer out of the blue is like, boom, a Russian base in New York City at fucking Central Park, and you know, they're like,
he targeted something in the water, and he targeted specifically a, you know, size and everything, and they found that, and you know, like, that's some amazing find right there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, like, we're going to go over a couple of different cases right now that just, if I'm able to list off 10, like, very public successes from remote viewing, imagine how many there were or are that haven't been reported. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's go over some of these. Let's go over some of these cases. Ingo Swann's Jupiter experiment, 1973. Ingo Swann, a pioneering remote viewer, was tasked with describing the planet Jupiter before NASA's Pioneer 10 spacecraft reached it. Swann described the planet having rings, a detail that was later confirmed by NASA, despite no known evidence at the time. Okay, so now you said you saw he was talking about Mars and millions of years in the past and all kinds of stuff. So he's seen, not only has he seen Jupiter presently, but he's seen other time periods on other planets as well.
And he named off the pyramids over there at the exact. Those coordinates were right there where the face and the pyramids are. So
right.
he described.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so
there are pyramids on Mars.
So they gave him coordinates, and they said, "Just tell us what you see." And what he saw was a huge pyramid, and he went up to it, and they said, "Look at it, try to see if you can see it." He's like, "Yeah, I see people in there. They're big, tall people." He's like, "They look like they're dying, and they're waiting for people to return, but it's just it's no use." And then he said, "He's like, now they see me," and he's like, "Bring yourself back." And so what they gave him coordinates to was Mars, and what there was there with the coordinates was those pyramids. So that's how the story goes. And
interesting. Okay. So that, yeah, dude, what a fucking trip, dude. So they had so when he remote, dude. Okay, we're going to go into this in a little bit. So when he remote viewed, it was as if he were actually there and
right.
they could see him. Like
right.
he astral projected there.
Right.
You know what astral projection is?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're talking, we're on the same page. All right, here we go.
That's remote viewing.
All right, so the Soviet military base in 1970s, during the early CIA remote viewing experiments, Pat Price, we just talked about that, a former police officer and psychic, was asked to view a secret Soviet military installation. He described not just the base, but even the construction machinery in use, which was later verified by satellite images.
You know what I mean?
70s, bro. This is in the 70s. This was the men who stare at goats, dude.
They made the
George
fall down and
Clooney
die.
did this, bro.
Yes. Well, somebody that George Clooney played, but and that was not Swann. That was someone else, right?
Pat Price. That was Pat Price.
Okay.
Okay.
I seen him. He was one of the founders at him. And then and then Swann.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so number 3, the Iraq war hostage location. In 1991, in one experiment, Joe McMoneagle, a military remote viewer, was tasked with finding American hostages in Iraq during the Gulf War. He reportedly pinpointed the exact location of one of the hostages, providing valuable information to rescue efforts.
Anybody who says that's not a thing that's real, then you get one hostage out, just pinpointing them on the guest of the fly. It wasn't lucky. I could take 100 people, they still wouldn't do it right. You know what I mean?
And this guy was able to pinpoint
it.
One of the hostages
in a different country.
And they got his ass out of there, dude. Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And that's not just, I mean, sheer luck couldn't even come close to getting you to those exact coordinates. Couldn't even get close to getting you that accurate, you know what I mean, of a remote view. This sheer luck couldn't even do it. There's no way. It would have to be one in, what, a trillion, you know what I mean?
Look up successful psychic detectives and see their stories. I mean, it's
well, let's do an episode about that, dude.
I mean, yeah, because they like remote view, whatever they look, and they feel, like some people feel objects, and they can tell where it's been, and you know they find bodies. They find bodies in like ditches of fields and stuff.
I know,
that.
bro.
It's crazy,
I've seen some things like that.
There's no such thing, dude. Oh my god.
All right, so
that's crazy.
All right, so check it out. So then there's number 4, the remote viewing of a downed aircraft in 1979. Remote viewer Pat Price again was tasked with identifying the location of a downed aircraft in a remote area.
A jungle.
He not only described the wreckage site, but also provided details about the surrounding terrain, which was later confirmed by a search team. Huh. Interesting. If it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't work, you know, how are they so accurate with it? Continuously accurate with it.
I mean, when you're accurate with it, then you got it. But
exactly.
I mean,
targeting of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. And on a high-profile experiment, SRI researchers, Stanford Research Institute, asked remote viewers to describe a specific target in Moscow, which was later identified as the U.S. Embassy. Viewers accurately detailed the building's layout and specific features of the site. Number 6, the location of the missing nuclear submarine in 1970s. Researchers at SRI again tasked remote viewers with locating a missing nuclear submarine that had sunk in the Atlantic Ocean. One remote viewer accurately pinpointed the location.
The ocean. Hello.
I know.
In the freaking ocean.
I know, of the sub's wreckage.
Are you kidding me? Oh, there's no such thing.
Hey, but down to its depth.
Are you kidding me?
And coordinates.
How ignorant do you have to be like, no, this isn't real?
Well, I mean, there's listen.
Ignorant shit
people
right
are always going to be skeptical.
Go find anything. A fucking nuclear bomb in the ocean. Good luck.
Bobby's trying to convince you guys.
Oh my God, trying, dude. The guy found a nuclear bomb in the middle of the ocean. I mean, that's pretty convincible, dude. That convinces me.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I'm convinced, but I'm convinced for other reasons, actually. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second here. So, another one: the blind targeting of the Russian submarine in the 1980s. During an experiment at SRI, a remote viewer was given only a set of random coordinates, and they described a large submerged object in the ocean, which was later confirmed to be a Russian submarine.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Number 8, remote viewing of a secret underground base.
Okay.
One of the most intriguing cases occurred when Pat Price again was tasked with describing a secret underground military facility. He provided detailed descriptions of the structures and the layout, which was later verified by a high-ranking official familiar with the base. 9, the discovery of a missing person in the 90s. Remote viewer Nina Kulagina was asked to locate a missing person based on only a photograph and their name. She provided key details about the person's location, condition, and surroundings, which were later confirmed. The discovery, number 10, the discovery of a hidden military base in the Soviet Union in the 70s. In a fascinating case, remote viewers were tasked with locating a secret Soviet military base hidden deep in the Soviet Union's interior. They described tunnels, entrances, and structures, all of which were later verified through satellite reconnaissance. Dude, right? How crazy is that?
Those are big.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
He was looking at you the whole time. He was like,
it's good. It's good. It's not. It's fine.
My telekinesis. But no, I'm just saying that's lucky guesses. The middle of the ocean.
I know,
military
bro.
secret Soviet bases. Oh, those are easy ones, you know.
Right.
Where the hard ones at with the fucking stars in space? I mean, I don't know. Like those are pretty damn good. You know, that's remote viewing, dude. Like,
all right, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's possible that like the government is just trying to convince us that remote viewing existed and they're lying about all of this?
The government is full of brainwashing. I've seen a thing in the sky that was close enough to know it's something, and it took off like that.
I know you showed me a video,
and I've seen, and I just know that I seen the building in 9/11 fall down, the third one, straight down. Like I seen that in Vegas too. I just know that I don't trust the government. They had something to do with Kennedy. It has something to do with.
We just did an episode on the Warren Commission on Kennedy. By the way, watch the Warren Commission episode. It's one of the best ones yet.
I love my country, man, but I don't trust our government.
There you go. I am. We're on the same page, Bob.
CIA, FBI. Sorry,
I mean,
guys,
we're like on the same page of not trusting the government. Now, I don't know what conspiracy theories you believe, what conspiracy theories I believe.
There's good ones.
But I'm sure that some of them intermingle just fine.
No, there's good ones or bad ones, but there's enough bad ones to get the president killed.
All right, here we go. Well. That JFK one was very interesting, brother. I'm telling you, go watch the one about the Warren Commission, dude. Over 50 people went missing or died under mysterious circumstances who were connected to the JFK assassination somewhere or another over the next few years. Like, it was very bizarre. But like I said, go watch episode 7, the Warren Commission episode from Exit the Matrix. You guys will not... you won't regret it. That's a good one. Okay, so all right, Bobby. So let me ask you this. So lots of people believe that anybody can learn to remote view with the right training. And there are even online courses and games and things like that claim they can teach you how to do it. So if remote viewing is real, it means that our brains might be capable of more than we think, you know? And like, so here's my thing. Like, particularly me, one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode personally was because I feel like I have had an experience with that, and I don't know exactly if it was remote viewing or if it was something.
Wait, tell me the experience you had.
Okay, so for a long time, I would, and I can't remember when this started. Probably in my early 20s. I started having this experience where I would be in the middle of something. I'd be doing something. I'd be like focused, like full on Zen focused, like in it, you know? And I would start seeing something else. Like I would literally be like in another house. I would like be in a place that I couldn't tell you, like I've never been there before, you know? Like one time it was like, and I've been to this.
Have you ever been to the house after you see?
Yes, no, not in real life. But I've been to that same house multiple times. Yes.
And that's happened to me before. In dreams.
Bingo. What?
In dreams, that's happened to me before.
Interesting, but like this is like a waking thing with my eyes are open, and it's not just a random daydream because it's like I'm there, like I can see it and feel it. It's very strange. And a couple years ago, I was going to therapy, and I talked to my therapist about it, and I told my therapist, like, every once in a while, every like a couple weeks, like I'll have, or every my month or whatever, and sometimes it goes in between years until between I'm having it, but I'll have these like waking dreams, but they're not dreams because I'm there. I can feel. Are you
meditating at the time?
No, I'm. But do you remember when I told you that I'm in a state of Zen? It's when I'm focused on. It's when I'm so. It's when I'm allowing myself to like be in the moment fully, that I can like that I tap into those things, that I like tap into those like. Okay. And so sometimes it'll be inside a house. Okay. Sometimes it'll be like I've like there's been once or twice where I've been like out on this like stretch of road, this like stretch of like
body and brain's really relaxed and you
and I feel like I'm completely one with everything, and I'm just like there and I'm in it
for like a couple seconds, but lasts for it seems like for a long time, but 20 seconds.
No, in fact, it's like it totally lingers. It's really? I'm there. Yeah, it's not like a second or a moment. It lingers. Like I'm there. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, sometimes a minute.
DMT.
Nah, DMT. It's not like that. Like I'm in it for that long, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like I'm able to just kind of like chill back and still continue to do.
Like interact with anyone? When you're there? Do you ever see anybody?
No.
It's always empty.
It's always empty. Everywhere I've gone, everywhere I've been in these like situations where like I guess it could be a remote viewing, I've never seen anybody, which is weird, which I think maybe is strange. I don't know, but it's just been an empty house.
I always dreamt of a house on the ocean.
But is that a dream, or is that like, or do you feel like you're remote viewing something?
Like it feels familiar when I dream it. You know, it's like,
okay, I feel you.
It's weird, dude.
What I'm talking about is like
you're alive, you're awake.
What I'm talking about is a waking experience. Right. You know, and when I talked to my therapist about this, she said that she felt like it was a remote viewing experience. She goes, "Do you know what remote?" She asked me, "Do you know what remote viewing is?" And we taled about it for a little bit, and she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "This is something that
very well could have been."
You know, and I don't know. You know, I mean, we talked about it, and but to be honest with you, it feels to me like when I have those experiences, it does feel to me like what I'm hearing from these descriptions of remote viewing applies. So I'm not sure if.
How many times have you had this?
I'm at least. Well, see, I have them in spurts. Like it'll go like.
How long have you had them?
20 years.
Oh, so you've had them a lot of times.
Yeah. Over 20 years.
Like hiccups.
But yes, exactly.
You don't have hiccups all the time.
Dude, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it's a few years in between the time you have the hiccups.
Right. Yeah,
and sometimes only a few months.
Whenever you eat salsa.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right.
Yeah, hot sauce.
So you get the idea.
Right.
You know, it's sometimes the frequency can be it can be more frequent and it can be less or longer in duration.
Always the same place?
No, sometimes it's different places. Like
really?
I've had.
Does it feel familiar when you're there?
Yes, very actually.
Weird?
Yeah, and there's one house that's very familiar. Like I
You almost know what bedrooms
not,
you go to.
not only do I want, like, not only do I know it, but I want to go there.
And is there all,
like I want to see it in real life.
Cool.
Like I want to touch and see the inside of this house
when
that
you
I've
go
seen.
There, is there always new bedrooms that you never knew about and shit?
No, it's always the same living room that I'm in.
Really?
I don't really walk around the house.
Yeah, I've been around a house with all beach houses.
It's the same place. It's the same like. It's the same like common area that I'm always in this house. You know what I mean? It's very rarely am I like walking around. I'm like because I'm content.
That's cool.
It's very strange, dude. I don't know. But yeah, man, it feels weird.
It must be a remote. I mean, but there's no one ever there.
Dog, I've never seen anybody in these.
And you couldn't pinpoint where you're at.
No. No, in fact,
if you went to a house that looked like it, would you remember it?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Isn't that weird?
If I was there,
and you got an eerie feeling like, whoa, this is the one. Wouldn't that be weird?
Yes. So you've never had any experiences like that?
Like, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, I was when I was younger, I got, you know, like. So when I got a fight at my baseball team when I was young, you know, and a guy hit me, and I visualized, I don't know, for some reason I knew this guy was going to come up, run behind me, and try to sucker punch me when I'm fighting this guy right in front of me, and so I turned around, I grabbed him, and I threw him over my shoulder because I like visualized after the guy hit me, I seen like the whole thing go down. It was weird. And then
so you saw that coming before it even.
Dude, I had my back turned to him dealing with somebody else in front of me, and I just like. Visualize that, turned around, grabbed him, flipped him around. I went to go hit this dude, and then the coach grabbed my neck. My dad beat him. It was a whole nasty thing.
Oh, your dad beat the coach up?
I had two of them, but I'm just saying.
Nice.
But I mean, I do remember remembering that dude was going to come up behind me, and I just like foretold it. It was weird, dude. And I turned around and grabbed him, and I was like, you know, I was a youngster, young,
right?
I had a premonition, I guess, you know. Mm-hmm. But that wouldn't be the first time.
Dude, I had. This one girl that I know, and I didn't even know her really well at the time. I just kind of knew who she was. We had crossed paths. She owns a nonprofit organization and that worked with disabled youth, and I own a nonprofit organization that works with disabled youth, and we had just kind of crossed paths, you know, in the past. And I got a call from her one morning randomly out of the blue, and she says, "Hey, I don't really know how to tell you this, but I know we don't know each other that well, but you should stay away from water for a while." And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I had a dream last night, and it was really like off-putting, and I can't get it off my mind. And you were in it, and it was about water, and I just don't think you should go around water for a while.
And she had enough intuition, like enough drive to call you and tell you this, you know.
I had just bought a boat.
That's crazy.
I had just bought a boat. I sold it.
Holy shit.
I sold my boat after I got that phone call. Like $2,000.
How much you sell for?
Like $2,000.
You didn't lose nothing?
Nah, I didn't lose
no
nothing.
problem.
I sold it for about as much as I bought it for.
Hey, you know what? You saw the signs, you took them.
Dog, I wasn't about to be like, oh yeah, fuck that. You know what I mean? And then jump in the boat. All right, let's go, motherfuckers. Right. You know, no. Somebody randomly calls me that I barely know and says, hey, I think you should stay away from water. And I just bought a boat.
That's weird.
Yeah, and they're like, I think you should stay away from water for a while. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm good, dude. I'll sell my boat and I'll go dirt bike riding for 2 years. You know what I mean? Fuck.
Take up
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude.
My buddy just crashed.
I'll take up poker, dude. You know what I mean?
My buddy on an e-bike. You know, shout out to Frank Tank. Hope you get better, buddy.
Absolutely, Frank. Hope you get better, brother. So what happened to your buddy? Is he all right, or
he was on an e-bike and the car was gonna hit him, so he had to bail it, and you know those things go pretty fast. So when he bailed it, he hit his head. And
oh wait. So he bailed it before the car hit him?
Right.
No shit.
Yeah.
And the car hit the bike.
He's a badass frisbee golf player, but he just
but
he got binked on the head really bad,
so
he has to go to like special hospital, you know. So you know, prayers be with you, and I hope everything goes good.
Yeah, man, that's fucked, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. All right. So talking about remote viewing, we're talking about these premonitions and you know things along those lines. Oh, you know what? Check this out. When I was So a few times in my life, I've also had like, I can't call them premonitions, but I what they are is they're like feelings. Like I get this like feeling in my gut, like, and that like something is happening, you know, and then all of a sudden like, oh, like something happens and that feeling goes away once I, you know, feel or understand like what it was, you know, like the very first time I ever felt that, I had this really weird, strange feeling like all morning, and I couldn't pinpoint why, and it was just like, it was like there was something wrong, right? And then I go to my buddy's house. We're sitting just sat down in the living room. His dad was watching NASCAR, and then, boom, Dale Earnhardt dies. Live on TV in a terrible crash, you know? Like, years and years later, same thing. I start having this weird feeling, like during the daytime, I can't shake it. I'm walking around my house, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I feel strange, I don't feel right, like it feels weird. And my mom calls me and says, Marley just got hit by a car. Well, it was her Beagle, you know? And like, and then as soon as she told me, it was like that feeling went away, you know? The grief came, you know, and the sadness came, but that feeling of like turmoil within like went away, you know? All right, so we're gonna move on and try a little experiment, okay?
All right.
So we're gonna see
time.
if you or I or anyone out there actually can learn remote viewing, or can just give it a shot. We're just gonna give it a shot, okay? So my producer Steven has prepared a little test for us. So he's brought in a couple of
shout out to Steve.
Yep. All right. So he's brought in a couple of these. All right.
13?
He's brought in a couple of these.
I predict 13.
All right. So I told you what the target numbers were on these. We're going to let you choose. In fact, we're going to go with 37 since you're so hell-bent on 13.
That's the reverse psychology, my friend. Oh, we're both going to do this one.
No, you're going to do 37, and my target's going to be 13.
Okay, nice.
All right. So here's how this is going to work. So... Okay, so everyone at home, you guys can try this too, okay? So take a moment to get something to write before we start, or just pause it. And while we do this...
You gotta hold it up close like that so you can see it, right?
Yeah, no. Well, you're good. You just got to know the target number. That's all.
Okay.
You just got to know the target number. Okay. All right. So while we do this, you at home, close your eyes or jot down your impressions, and at the end, go ahead and comment this, what you see, and like your results in the comment section. Okay. So this is target number 37. Target number 37. Steven has secretly chosen an image from the internet. He's printed out a picture of it. And like, for example, like a landmark or a random object or whatever, and he sealed it in an envelope, and we won't open it until we're done. Now, he's also written down a target number on the envelope for Bobby. This is target number 37.
Trump.
First, my guest will attempt to view this unseen target, and then I will do the experiment with target number 13. You ready?
Yep.
You ready out there? All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to guide you through a simple remote viewing session, okay, Bob? You don't need to force anything.
My P9.
Just relax, clear your mind, and let whatever impressions come to you, okay? Okay, so clear your mind. Just take a few moments, and you're just going to clear your mind now, okay? Just take some deep breaths.
Clear my mind. Hold on.
Relax. Don't just try not to talk. Just try and relax. Just take some deep breaths, clear your mind, meditate, get a clear mind. I'm going to stop talking now.
Will I tell you when my mind is clear? I'll go like this. My mind is clear.
No, I'm going to just relax. Just take
a minute. You know, let me just say this one thing. Okay. I played a game called RV, and they said it could take a long time, like 30 minutes to 45 minutes to stare at this thing. That's what they say.
All right, well, just clear your mind. We're going to give it a little. Just.
Sometimes it helps.
All right, Bobby.
I see an octopus.
Stop it. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Don't try and guess the object is, Bobby. Just let small details come to you, okay? Shapes, colors, textures, emotions, things like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just take a few deep breaths. Target number 37. Are you sensing any particular shape? Round, square, jagged, flowing?
I think jagged with triangular-ish.
Jagged with triangular-ish shapes? Okay.
Veiny kind of.
Okay. Does it feel solid or soft?
Maybe soft.
Large, small, anything like that? Any other details that may come to to mind?
No.
All right. How about any colors? Any colors coming to mind?
Burgundy, red,
Okay.
brown.
Burgundy,
white.
red, brown, white. Okay. Is it smooth, rough, metallic, glass-like, anything like that?
Maybe rubbery
Rubbery.
or glossy. Rubbery.
Interesting. Glossy, glassy, rubbery. Okay. Does it give off any emotional or sensory feeling? Does it give a cold, warm, familiar, mysterious?
I don't think so. Very cold.
Okay.
No.
Just kind of neutral. Okay. If it made a sound, does it make a sound? Does it sound like anything, or
Maybe a hum or a purr.
maybe a hum or a purr? Interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. If I were to give you a pen and a piece of paper, could you give me a quick sketch of something, Bob?
Yes, I could.
All right, I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to get you a pen and a paper. I'm going to sketch you something.
I'm gonna open my eyes now.
Go ahead, open your eyes.
My eyes are open.
Awesome. All right, give me 1 second. Let me get you a pen and a paper.
Hurry, I'm losing it.
I'm hurrying.
But I'm not losing it. This is the creepiest doll I've ever seen in my life. I just want to, look into its eyes and it stares at you. I don't even know why it's there. It's creepy. It's missing hair on the top of its head. I want to say the Statue of Liberty, but
Now just sketch anything that comes to mind, shapes, or anything along those lines. Just sketch whatever comes to mind. No matter how abstract it may be, just sketch anything that comes to mind. Excellent, Bob. Continue, and whenever you're finished, just go ahead and let me know whenever you're done. No rush. Okay. All right.
that's the best I can do.
All right. Let me see.
I don't know what it means.
Let me see.
Maybe no one does.
Oh, interesting. He's got
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
interesting. Let's see. Here we go. This is very interesting. I'm going to show you guys what Bobby sketched here, and then we'll go over
It's an
the
apple tree.
let's see.
No, it's not apple tree. I don't know what that is actually. I mean, I was going with something. Could be anything. I don't know.
All right, so those of you out there who are listening on Spotify, there is a triangle with. I'm just going to try and try and describe this. There's a triangle with some squiggly lines and kind of almost looks like either a leaf or maybe a heart towards the end of one side, and then maybe either another leaf or maybe like a fruit or something, or at the end of one of the at the point of one of the other points of the triangle, and then it looks like there's like two U's or maybe like a very kind of concise shape at the other point of the triangle.
It's a 2
so
and a 3. It's a 2 and a 3.
I'm gonna give you guys
It's a 2 and 3 blended.
All right, hold on here. Hold on. I'm giving them I'm trying to give them a good visual description of what I'm seeing here on your drawing here.
What was the coordinates?
All right, so here we go. So you got.
You better check 13. Oh, you see?
Interesting. It's a Rubik's Cube.
I knew it was something like that. You know?
Okay, so
like, glossy and hard. You know what?
Okay, so let's go over that. So he said like rubbery or glassy or glossy. Like so that's like I don't know. I mean that could be. I mean
it's plastic. So
the plastic and the
it wasn't.
And he says triangular.
I didn't think, it was kind of cold, but it didn't have no like feeling.
You know what's funny is if you look at it, it's not like it's actually. It's not in a square, like you're not looking at it on the side. You're actually looking at it like as a diamond. So I would say that there's triangles there. I would, the moment I opened this, I go, oh, triangles. Like that's the first thing he said. Like that to me looks like a triangle. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's a cube, but do you see how this picture is like unrefined? Do you see what I'm seeing there as far as the triangle goes? I do, but maybe it's just because I want to see it. I don't know. But let's see. What else did you say? You said red.
Oh, look at 3.
Dude, you said red. It's mostly red. You said red,
I
burgundy.
Said red, white, and burgundy.
White
actually.
And yeah, you did.
And
that's
look at
mostly
there's 3
red.
white dots.
Dude.
There's 3 white dots.
Yeah, I know. I see the white dude.
I
Like
put 3 and 2. So
a lot of that was actually fairly. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of that was fairly good.
Actually,
I will say that the picture was a little.
I mean, you got
a little off.
You're probably upside down. You're looking at it upside down, probably.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking your mind caught the pixelation in the corners, and we're like, oh, it looks. That's what I'm.
I think I seen the lines, but not. I couldn't see them clear. So
that's why it looked like that. So if you look down here and you look up here, it does look like.
Look at the picture.
All right, so but I will say though the picture's way off. But
it's way fucking off. But, I mean, actually, you know what? If you look at it, it kind of does look like a cube a little.
If you kind of squint,
if you look at it far away, it looks like a whole cube. Huh?
All right, let's see here.
From a distance, it looks like a cube. All
right, I'm gonna put these up to I'm gonna do a side by side for the
wrong way though.
I'm gonna do a side by. Hold on.
If you hold it upside down, it looks like a cube. Okay, now you gotta hold it the other way though.
Hold on.
That looks pretty good like that. You know, yeah. See, I wasn't done drawing it, so I was making the cube.
You didn't know what it was.
Yeah, no shit. I don't know.
But you were fine.
But there's a square right there on that one.
I will say there were some things that were pretty damn similar.
There is a square on that. You know, look. There's a square right there, and it's right where that square is. You know. Huh? That one and that one, same place. They're actually almost the same shape. I mean, you know.
Trip, right?
I did say red, white, and burgundy.
All right. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to my guest, Mr. Bobby C, for joining me today. Appreciate you. And remember, you guys, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. Take care, you guys. My name is Eddie Blues, and this is Exit the Matrix.